Hi there. This is another meaningful video for you to help you grow, learn, and become wiser every day. Let's begin. There's a voice inside your head that never seems to stop. It comments, questions, replays memories, rehearses conversations that may never happen. You lie awake at night, replaying what you said hours ago, wondering if you should have said it differently. You imagine scenarios, analyze every gesture, every silence, every word. And even when you try to rest, your mind keeps spinning like a wheel that's forgotten how to stop. This is overthinking, the modern epidemic of endless thought. It's not intelligence. It's not wisdom. It's the mind turning against itself, trying to solve problems that don't even exist, trying to control a future that can't be predicted. And yet, we all fall into it. To understand why, we have to look at what overthinking really is. It's the mind's way of seeking safety. The brain evolved to predict danger, to anticipate what might go wrong so we could survive. Thousands of years ago, this instinct saved lives. Now, in a world where most threats are psychological, that same mechanism works over time. It interprets uncertainty as danger, and the more uncertain your life feels, the louder that inner voice becomes. Neuroscience shows that overthinking activates the default mode network, the part of the brain that becomes active when you're not focused on an external task. It's responsible for self-reflection and imagination, but also for rumination, the endless looping of thoughts. When this network is hyperactive, your brain keeps wandering between the past and the future, never allowing you to rest in the present. That's why overthinking feels exhausting. The mind consumes energy as if it were running a marathon, but there's no finish line, just circles of thought. You feel mentally tired, emotionally drained, and physically tense, even though you've done nothing tangible. Psychologically, overthinking often grows from two roots: fear and perfectionism. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, fear of losing control, and perfectionism, the illusion that if we think hard enough, we can find the perfect decision, the perfect response, the perfect version of ourselves. But the truth is, perfection is not a destination, it's a trap. It keeps the mind chasing something that doesn't exist while real life quietly slips by. If you look closely, overthinking is rarely about the present moment. It's about what has already happened or what might happen next. It's about the past you can't change and the future you can't control. And yet, we try to think our way to peace, not realizing that thinking is the very thing standing in the way of it. Emotionally, overthinking creates distance. You might appear calm on the outside, but inside you're living several parallel realities, replaying one, preparing for another, regretting a third. This constant simulation makes real life feel dull, like you're watching it through glass. The present becomes something you study, not something you live. In biology, every thought has a physical echo. Each time you worry, your brain releases stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline, preparing your body for a threat that doesn't exist. Your muscles tense, your heart beats faster, your breathing becomes shallow. It's the same fight or flight response, just triggered by imagination instead of reality. And because overthinking is repetitive, the body never fully returns to calm. You live in a state of chronic alertness, always almost in danger, but never actually safe. That's why overthinking can lead to insomnia, anxiety, fatigue, even digestive problems. Your body is listening to your thoughts. It doesn't know they're just stories. It reacts as if each one were real. But what's fascinating is that the same brain that creates this storm also holds the key to calming it. When you bring your attention fully to the present, to your breath, your surroundings, your sensations, the default mode network quiets down. Your brain literally changes state. Thinking stops not because you force it, but because there's no room for it. The mind can't be fully present and overthink at the same time. This is why practices like mindfulness and meditation are so powerful. They're not about stopping thoughts. They're about changing your relationship with them. Instead of fighting your thoughts, you start observing them. You realize that they're not commands, they're just passing clouds. They come and go, but you remain. And something shifts when you begin to see this. You realize you are not your mind. You are the awareness behind it. The voice in your head is loud, but it's not the whole of you. You can listen without obeying. You can watch the storm without being carried away. Overthinking often feels like control, but it's actually fear wearing a mask. We think that by analyzing every outcome, we're preventing pain. But in truth, we're reliving it over and over before it even happens. It's emotional rehearsal, and the more we practice it, the more anxiety becomes our default state. To break free, the goal is not to silence the mind, but to teach it trust. Trust that life unfolds even when you don't predict every move. Trust that mistakes are survivable. Trust that not knowing is not the same as being lost. When you begin to live this way, something beautiful happens. Your thoughts start to slow down. You begin to notice the world again, the texture of the air, the sound of your footsteps, the way sunlight touches the floor. These small moments bring you back to reality, a place much richer and kinder than the one inside your head. And perhaps the most powerful thing you can do for an overactive mind is to act. Because action breaks the cycle of thought. Once you start doing, creating, moving, building, the brain has no reason to keep spinning imaginary scenarios. It anchors itself in the now. You return to life, not as an observer, but as a participant. So next time you find yourself trapped in your thoughts, remember this. You can't think your way out of overthinking. You can only step out into movement, into presence, into trust. The mind is a storyteller, but you're not the story, you're the one who listens. Thank you for listening. I hope this video gave you something to think about and helped you understand yourself a little better. If it did, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to check out my other videos. They're just as interesting and meaningful. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.